So a sponsor. Got a sponsor.
About time.
Yeah, about time. Thank you to Chris Foote, Elgin City director, Elgin City women's team director, for sponsors for the season. You're going to be hearing Chris Foote a hell of a lot over the next year.
Yes, in the words of former guest Chris Saunderson, if it moves, Chris Foote can get it sponsored.
Yep. And this podcast is definitely moving in the right direction.
See, this is good advertisement right now.
So yeah, Chris is going to be coming to an episode as well.
Entering the sweepstakes of who's been in the studio on all podcasts that are produced in here.
Yeah, because it's a running one between
you,
myself, Dom,
Matty Slinger,
Chris
Saunderson. I know he kind of hosts two of them, but
Chris Foote.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of like, let's just say, pimping ourselves out to podcasts. But yeah, Chris will be on to speak about Elgin City Women, Man City, unfortunately for Ryan.
Well,
but
it was looking like it was going to go horribly right, didn't it? But now it's kind of looking like it's going down.
To be fair to Chris, he's a Man City fan since like the 80s.
Yeah, so he's been at like York and the Paul Dickov playoff final and all that stuff.
Down in like the third division and stuff like that. So he's a proper Man City fan. So thank you to Chris Foote for sponsoring us for the year. You'll be seeing his name all over our posts, all over our social media, hearing his name a lot in the podcast, but it's for a good reason, because he's helping us keep the lights on at the Lighthouse Podcast Studio. I've always been tempted to go like, this is episode 37 of Football Journals. I'm your host, Lee Stewart, but we're not going to do that. Episode 37, we're back again. Special episode. Special.
Ooh.
Yeah. No, I'm not calling you special.
Oh, thanks.
You've been hearing his name quite a bit the last couple of weeks. Listen to the podcast. We have a new sponsor, Mr. Chris Foote, and we have Mr. Chris Foote in the studio.
Evening.
How are you?
I'm living the dream as always.
Yep. We were just speaking about Man City beforehand.
Were we?
Yeah.
Painful.
Yeah. 3-2 against Real Madrid.
I thought that was way down the list today.
Do you know what? Right. See, for the way they've been playing this season, to get 3-2 against Real Madrid, who are such a good team, I don't think it's a bad result.
I do.
You think
terrible.
so?
Yeah. To go from how we were playing as a team to how we're now not playing as a team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how many times we take the lead and lost?
Yeah. And it's all down, and I keep hearing this, but I refuse to believe it. It's all down to Rodri being out of the team.
Yeah. City's version of Carly.
Yeah. Pretty much.
I'm going the other way now.
No chance. No chance.
No, he's a big miss, but you can't build a team around one player.
No, you can't.
We've lost. Grealish has been nowhere this year. Haaland's been nowhere this year.
He's quite patchy. He'll hit little bits of form and then he'll just disappear.
I mean, he started off like house on fire.
Yeah.
And then, boom, as soon as we lost, well, we just went on that run, didn't we?
So, he's even changed his style of football, Pep, a little bit. He's seen a bit more long ball and things like that.
Yeah, and he went a bit more defensive against Real Madrid, didn't he? But I don't know. I don't think there's any easy fix.
No. It's a question we'll come back to later, Chris.
Thought we might.
So, Chris, you are an Elgin City Football Club director. You are Elgin City Women's Football Club director. Man City fan. Any other teams?
No.
Follower of the English national team?
No, because I'm a Scot.
You're a Scot. Okay.
Born in Vanessa. Weird accent. I know.
Yeah.
I've always put myself down as a Scot. It's
good man.
Yeah.
So you've shared the same bitterness and disappointment as the rest of us with us.
It's not been easy.
No.
Not been easy over the years. You know, I think we're going to come to the World Cup in a minute.
We are.
On, but it's yeah.
So you've listened to the podcast before. My questions are always the same.
Yeah.
How good a football player is a kid?
I'd use a stronger word, but poor will do.
Okay. we've got a beat button.
No, I'm one of these kids that thought they could play and definitely couldn't. I did play Sunday League. That's about as far as I got, and that was more just a bit of exercise. Yeah. Strange enough, centre back.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking either centre back or goalie.
A lot of own goals. But no. For me, football was.
You played a lot of basketball, didn't you, Chris?
Yeah, I had 1 year at Leicester as a junior.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, knee injury ruled that out when I was 18.
Okay.
So, basketball was my game. And believe it or not, I wasn't one of the tallest.
Well, for anyone listening or watching right now that hasn't actually met Chris, I'll give you a little funny story. I had met Chris, first time I officially met Chris was in the Elgin boardroom about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
But Chris was actually seated during the majority of this. And I remember coming in and shaking his hand and Mo coming up and closing the door, and I left and I came back down to an Elgin women game, and you were stood up this time, and I realised how big you were, because the first time you were sitting, the second time, so Chris, what are you, 6'6"?
6'7".
6'7".
Yeah.
And yeah, I've never been, I think my tallest mate's about 6'2", 6'3", so.
I do stand out a little bit, but it's also going the other way now, which is unfortunate.
It's your words, not mine, mate. No. It's your words. So, football, would you say, was a secondary sport as a kid?
Yeah, I mean, I actually played rugby as well.
Okay.
Number 8 at rugby. So I went to a boys' school, and it was definitely more rugby than football. Although Dave Kevin, who was in the same year with me, same class as me, actually went on to play for Notts County.
All right, okay.
And I don't know of anyone that went on to play for rugby for England or any other team.
No.
And, I can't remember his name, but the head of British boxing was also in my class.
Wow.
He took over from his dad, Robert, some or other, can't remember his name. So, yeah, that's about it, really. Claim to fame.
Magic. That's we've all got one. My claim to fame is I grew up playing football against Soapy.
Really? That's all right.
There you go. There you go. And he used to pump about 20 goals past me every single time because I was a goalie. Who's your football idol growing up?
So I had to think about this. And obviously Colin Bell, being a City fan.
Mm-hmm.
But there's 2 players now that always stuck out with me for years. One was Tony Curry.
Yeah, okay.
At Sheffield United and then Leeds.
Yep.
And one was the striker in the team was it Tony? Not Tony Woodcock. Woodward.
Tony Woodward.
Who was Sheffield United striker. Don't ask me why. They all stuck out for me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they were most probably the 2. But obviously, Colin Bell.
Yeah.
You know, Nijinsky.
He was criminally underrated because he wasn't a big name, wasn't he?
He wasn't a big name, and also obviously towards the end of his career, injuries hit him. But how he didn't win more England caps, how he didn't. Obviously, City weren't great. I know he had one league title, but he didn't do a lot for many years, obviously. But no, great player, fantastic player.
Can you remember what year you started Sporting City?
76.
76.
So
who would have been the standouts in the team at the time?
Stewart was there, Corrigan, Doyle.
Yeah.
You know, Oates. You know, it was a solid team, Donaghy. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't anything special.
I'm trying to think. Manager would have been
Allison and
Malcolm
Tony
Allison.
Brook.
Yeah, Malcolm Allison was there for a majority.
He was a character.
Yeah. You don't get much like him these days.
But no, yeah. So it was an early. Even though we lived down in Northamptonshire, I think I've said the story before. Sabutio.
Yep. Oh, brilliant.
Used to play it. Love it. Still collect it. And my mum bought me 2 teams. One was number 5 Man City, number 100 Man United. God, I went down the right road, didn't I?
Aye, you did.
As I keep reminding Mo. But no, that's the true honest story. That's why I started following City. You know, the local club was Northampton. I did go and watch them for many years until I could learn to drive. And those were good days as well.
You remember your first City game?
Oh my good God, it'd be Wimbledon in the cup, and we lost 3-0.
Yeah.
But there was something about that season, because that was the season we were in the 3rd tier. Mm-hmm. You know, going to having City at Northampton.
Yeah.
And having more City fans in the ground than Northampton.
Crazy.
Brilliant. York City away. You know, they all go on about these games, Lincoln, Darlington.
Yeah.
You know, being 12th at Christmas. But it's going to sound strange. I preferred it then to now. And a lot of people don't get it, but some of my mates in Manchester do. You can go into every game thinking you're going to win, and you win, and you win, and you win. Mm-hmm. And no disrespect to Celtic or Rangers fans, but it must be boring when Rangers are playing well. Yeah. It's just you too. So, you know, to come to Elgin and have that jeopardy again,
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're going into this game, we're going away.
It's real.
A draw at Stranraer will be good.
Mm-hmm.
A win will be amazing. It's proper football.
It's real. Yeah. There's emotion attached to it. And you find yourself getting taken away from reality with winning all the time and trophies, and you get spoiled.
Well, you do. I mean, you got to look at social media. And, City fans haven't been too bad. You look at United fans, Liverpool, Arsenal fans, most probably the worst.
Yeah.
You know, they're criticising already. You know, you're second in the league.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You've been second for the last 2 years. Only one team can win the league.
Yep. Yep.
You know, just be thankful you're in the top 10.
Aye.
Because a lot of clubs will nenever get anywhere near that.
No, it's true. And it's like Celtic and Rangers, it's like, oh, we're linked with this £5 million player. And it's like, you could be linked with a £50 million player. They're still going to win the league. It doesn't matter who you put in. You could have Donald Duck in charge of that team. And as long as he puts 11 players on the park, they're going to win.
Yeah.
You know, it's a golf in quality. First World Cup memories, Chris.
78.
78. So
78, and I remember the first game. Well, I think I'm right.
Argentina 78 on the March Rally's army.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say it was West Germany, Poland, but I might be wrong.
So we're talking Dalglish, Souness, Joe Jordan,
Archie Gemmell.
So this is 1974 was Holland, wasn't it?
74 was Holland, because that's when we didn't lose a game.
Yeah.
And still didn't get through.
78, I'm thinking
drew with Iran, lost to Peru.
That's who I'm trying to improve. That's the two I'm trying to remember.
Archie Gemmell scores the goal of all time, and we think we've done it, and they go and pop one in the other end, and that does it.
Yep. Yeah.
It's the history of that. Euro 96.
Was that the kick-off of football in your life, would you say?
No, because I'll go back to 76, 75, 76. You know, don't ask me why, but who's Tony Curry? Was it Burnley were up there? You know, obviously Liverpool, they were just starting to go and get a grip of it. Ipswich Town.
Yeah, good team.
Great team.
Yeah, George Burley and things.
The best team not to do something.
Yeah.
Southampton in the FA Cup. I actually do remember the West Ham Fulham game the year before in the FA Cup final, because obviously it was Bobby Moore against West Ham. But yeah, 76, 77 was when it really started to take a grip.
Mm-hmm. Good time, because you're getting almost, it's before the I don't like to call it this, but I'm just going to have to call it this, the hooligan period of English football.
Yeah.
You know,
it
was a little bit of a glory, because you had teams like Villa doing very well in Europe. You had a strong United team, a strong Leeds team.
Don't get me wrong, there was, you could go through Forest, like you say, Liverpool, even Spurs.
Yep.
Arsenal did a bit.
And just before that kind of 80s period, it's seen as a bit of a glory period in English football.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the Champions Cup as it was then, just basically English.
Yep. Yeah. And the strength of I always look back to the strength of and it's weird, they didn't really do much between 1966 and 1990, but the strength of the English teams in the 70s and 80s were unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. And I still say one of the reasons was they played the English way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because every continental team was playing the continental way.
Mm-hmm.
The English way, Scottish way, whatever you want to call it, British way,
it's
totally different.
Yeah, it was hard
teams didn't know how to handle it.
Mm-hmm. Physical, tough.
As soon as we went continental, we lost a little bit of grip. Now I think we've got it back a bit, because obviously Chelsea, United, Liverpool, City, we've all won the Champions League in recent years.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think British teams, you've even got to put Celtic in. Rangers were there, Celtic were there.
Yep.
Aberdeen,
of course. Dundee
United. They all made their mark in Europe because they played a way that continental teams couldn't figure out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
it was a bit agricultural at times, but it worked.
You used to hear that, and you used to hear things like the Eastern European style. It was very hard to play against. The Red Star Belgrade won a Champions League, and things like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of, a lot of the big teams, AC Milan, Ajax, they've all won 3 in a row, things like that. But you always get the odd little team that will pop up and cause Malmo making the final against Notts Forest.
Steaua Bucharest won one. Yeah.
That was a boring game, though.
Right. We're going to fast forward a little bit. What was your first involvement with Elgin City?
So we moved up from Northamptonshire in 2017. I still have my season tickets at Man City. I think we had them for about 3 years after that. But I wasn't going to travel down, so we went to the first game of the season against Cowdenbeath. I think it was a 2-2 draw, but I'm not 100% sure. And we sat to the left of the director's box in the main stand, and I said to the missus, "This is right. Go get 2 season tickets." And we went down and got 2 season tickets. 240 quid later. Couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Wow, this is cheap.
Yeah, very.
I'm a bit of that. And I knew I could fill me Saturday afternoons doing something. So we did that, and then I got to know Kieran quite quickly, Kieran Carty. And we thought, okay, we'll do some sponsorship. So we sponsored Jim Weir.
Yeah.
3 months later, he'd gone off to Forfar. So the club were really good. Actually, Kieran rang me up and said, "Look, we feel a bit bad. You want another player?" I wouldn't do that now, by the way. I'm joking. not actually. So they gave me Chris McLeish. And obviously, the following year, we went for JP McGovern. Because believe it or not, I'd actually seen McGovern play for Sheffield Wednesday down in England. So I didn't know him, but I knew of him.
I remember him as a young lad at Celtic.
Yeah. So, yeah. Obviously, his dad. And then we started doing a bit more. And then we got into the boardroom occasionally. We sponsored the boardroom. And then, I think 4 years ago, Kieran said to me, "Why don't you just do every game?" I said, "What? Every game? You're having a laugh?" He said, "I'll do you a deal." Okay. One of Kieran's deals.
Yeah.
Wasn't really a deal.
No, know that.
So we did. And, I've got to thank the wife as well because she was all behind it. And then I remember being down at Murrayfield and Isla said, "We need to have a chat." And Derek came down with rugby. And Kieran had always said, "Look, I need to have a chat with you." I'm thinking, what's going on here? And Kieran rang me up one day. He said, "Look, I'm going to send you a letter. They want to invite you to go on the board." I thought, whoa. Now, I don't own my own business. Financially, yeah, I know about money, but what I do know is about talking to people.
Yeah.
So I went on the board, Tats, Isla, two there. So yeah, and that was it. It was a shock, but a really nice surprise.
Yeah.
And I haven't regretted a minute.
Had some stressful moments.
Yeah, there's been some interesting moments. Obviously, some I can go into, some I can't.
Yeah.
There's been ups and downs. I still say the biggest down and most probably the biggest shock to the club, and I don't think we've looked back since, was Gene Phil Swift. Going down there, losing 6-0, and to be honest, it could have been a lot more.
Yeah.
And then getting pelters off the fans as they're going out, and rightly so. Sometimes you can get abused for no reason. All right, we weren't playing, but we were the board of directors that day, and me and Cecil were stood there, and we had to take it. But I think the club slowly moved forward for a while, and now with Alan Hale and Stefan in charge, it's moving forward rapidly, not too quickly.
Yeah.
They're not doing it at 90 miles an hour, but going in the right direction.
It certainly is.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be surprised, apart from the dreaded 42nd and going down, which isn't going to happen. I don't think you would get any worse than Gene Phil Swift's.
No, I've been going to Barabra since about 2002. I was 9-10 years old, and I can honestly say in the 20 odd years I've been going, I've never seen the club so buzzing and so moving in the right direction. And before, and I can say this as a fan, I obviously work for the club and things like that, but I'm going to say this as a fan. Before, you would have different people pulling in different directions, and they all wanted good things for the club, but they maybe weren't focused on the same thing, and that was what would cause it. But now everyone seems to be heading in the same direction. We know what we want. We know that we're a community-based club, but we're actually a little bit of a sleeping giant. And
there's no doubt about it.
There's no denying that.
It's proven with the last few gates. They've shot up. 30-40% higher than they were last year. I know we were struggling last year, but even that's still brilliant.
Yeah.
You've got to thank the fans for coming out. But yeah, you're right. Everyone is pulling the right direction. Everyone's got their own little job to do. But since the board has changed a bit over the last year, got a little bit more structured. credit to Alan Murray. Tats did a great job. You know, Arla's still doing a great job. Cecil, let me have that pitch. Cecil's great. But, you know, Stephen Opes.
Yeah.
He's come in, and there's not a penny goes out of that club without him knowing now.
No, this is it. Yeah. It's
So,
got a title and things.
And it needed it. You know, we needed to get structure. You know, Alan's Army's come in and helped. Other donations have come in, which have massively helped.
Mm-hmm.
So the club as a whole is moving in the right direction, but I think the town and the support is coming along with it.
I think so. One of the things I just noticed generally as a fan, and I'm massively pleased with it, and a few people have mentioned it on Borough Briggs Beat and different podcasts, and a few people have mentioned it. It's just we haven't got 6 or 7 loan signings in the team now,
No.
and I think that's massive. You know, you've got guys that are a bit more secure. I don't know how many of the guys train locally, but I think the majority
are up here now, and even the southern-based guys come up on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Whereas you go back when I first started watching Elgin, it's common knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
They met on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Half the team trained up. Well, most probably more than half the team trained down south.
Mm-hmm.
Half up here. You know, and credit to Jim and then Gav, they did a good job with what they had.
Yeah, they did.
I defy anyone to have half your team training and then get the other half to play the same way the following Saturday. But no, it's pulled together. When Alan Hale came on board, he made it pretty clear he wanted northern-based players.
Yeah.
And he's got them. You know, obviously we've got Dage and Dylan moving here.
Mm-hmm.
But there's not many southern-based players now.
No, not at all.
And even the loans, I would imagine, only came in because of Tom's injury.
Yep. And guys like Kean, he's been it was a position that we're maybe short in. It's not like we're taking these guys because it's the brightest young prospect from Ross County, which for many years it's like, all right, this guy's available, so we need to take him, even though we've already got 4 guys in that position, you know.
And I think that's the difference. Alan brings in players he needs rather than are just available.
Yeah.
You know, we've got covering, I'd say every position now. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, players can play elsewhere. You know, you look at Kyle Gervin this year.
Let's get Brian Cameron this year.
Just stick him up with Brian Cameron. Yeah.
I've never seen Soapy's never a centre.
To be honest, I'm surprised he brought the guy in from Kilmarnock. Just stick one of them in goal.
It's true. It's so true. But the thing is, they'd be willing to, you know, they'd give you, they'd give everything for it.
You could get you 20 goals back from Soapy then.
100%. Right, Chris. What's it like to be the director of a football club?
If I'm honest, far more work than I ever thought.
Mm-hmm.
A lot more work than I ever thought. You know, you look at the directors at the big clubs, and then you look what they've got behind them, and they've literally got hundreds of people.
Yeah.
You know, we've, as a group, you know, 5 directors, chairman, 3 in the office, 4 in the office, of which only 1 is full time.
Yep.
You know, that's a lot of work for a few people.
It is.
And credit to everyone, you know, they all pull together, and it's going all right. You know, we know we could do more. We know we could get better at certain things, but it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, realising how much work's involved, I wouldn't say it was a shock, but it was a wake-up call.
Yeah.
But you soon learn.
Yeah.
You soon learn that you can't just sit there and watch football on a Saturday. You've got to get in there and do the dirty stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it's enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
It's enjoyable.
Yeah.
I haven't had to sat the board for a while.
Always a good thing. Always a good thing.
Used to love it on a Saturday.
So you've just given us probably your worst experience with Gene Field. Give us your best experience so far.
I'd say there's 2. I'd say Drape's goal and the penultimate. You know, that's going to be hard to beat.
I think I still get goosebumps at that.
Watch the video. Just watch the video every now and again.
It's just like that. Certain goals create feelings, and that's one of them for me.
Oh yeah, I mean, just the euphoria,
relief. For me. Relief.
You know, and the feeling after the game.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people might criticise me and say, "Oh, you shouldn't celebrate. You know, failure. That was failure to finish where we were." No, let's celebrate the fact we're still in the league, and now look where we are.
Yeah.
The other one is there was 2 because I couldn't separate the two, and this might come as a surprise for some people, but it's when we equalised at St Johnstone last week for the women. And I've made no secret
The first
of it.
or the second?
I am second.
The second.
Because I honestly thought at that point, this could be.
Yeah.
This could be. And just seeing the girls, women, celebrate that second Lundberg goal, you start dreaming.
Yeah.
And that's what football's about at this level. It's about dreams. All right, it wasn't to be.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those two moments, I would say, so far. But I think there's more to come.
That second moment, I had Mel McDonald throw her crutches and pretty much jump onto my back, and I'm trying to hold on to Mo at the same time. And if there was a camera on our bench, it's going mental.
Yeah. It was.
And
you can play in front of 50, 60,000 people. You can be a crowd at Hampden or Wembley or wherever, Munich.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't get a feeling like that.
No, you wouldn't. It was raw, and it was great. And you know what? I think it was. Yeah, we got beat, but I think it was kind of like a little bit of a perfect end. We were never going to win it.
No.
No,
I mean, just to get through 5 rounds,
mm-hmm.
People were starting to take notice of the women at that point because, well, why are Elgin in the last 16 this much?
Yeah.
Where are they in the leagues? Oh, they're all the way down there.
Mm-hmm.
How the hell did they get there?
Yeah.
We got there through hard work and being a very good team.
Yeah, that's it.
But no, they're the two. The Drapes goal, it'll go down. Well, it's historical, those that were there.
Yeah.
And I'll guarantee in 5 years' time there'll be 5,000 people that were at that
100%,
game.
100%.
We'll come to that more in a minute.
There's
just the other thing.
There's a few moments in my supporting of Elgin that I can remember. That's definitely one that sticks out. I'm not old enough to remember the Highland League, and I'll get many a story from Mo or even my dad and things like that about Elgin lossy games where there's 2,000 people and the atmospheres and things like that. But for modern day, I don't think you're beating Drapes.
Oh, no.
Drapes' moment.
No. I mean, it was almost dead and buried, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it was dead and buried.
Mm-hmm.
It was last chance saloon.
Everything had been so negative in the press leading up to it. And, and I'm not saying that, people are out to get Elgin, but there was a little bit of a target on us. It's like, yous are going to, from everyone in the Highland League,
well,
say,
one of the first things I learned when I started following Elgin seriously was we are not popular in the north of Scotland.
Nobody likes us.
Now, obviously, that goes back to a few years, but let it go.
Mm-hmm. 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 I'd say that the vast majority of the people in the Highland League wanted us down in there with them.
Oh, yeah.
Because they know that if Elgin's coming to town, they're getting an extra 400 in their gate that week. And it's a sad way to look at it. That
It is. But, it's not going to happen.
No. I would like to make one suggestion.
Go on.
I think Elgin should host an annual friendly with Lossiemouth every year at Christmas time.
At Lossie.
At Lossie, something like that.
Problem be fitting it in the calendar.
Yeah. Or even through the summer, I just think, as 2,000 people going to go to that.
I would agree with you, apart from the fact that people don't seem to turn out for the pre-seasons.
Yeah.
We've had 100 almost at the Gleaner to watch Forest a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, whether it's because it's summer, whether it's because it's at the Gleaner, I don't know. It is a strange one. I've often thought, I remember the days when English clubs used to come up here.
Yeah.
And do the tour of Northern Scotland, pre-season tours. You used to get a lot of clubs come up. Now nobody wants to come.
No.
They want to go to Austria or they want to go to St Andrews and have a training camp.
Yeah.
Also, would the likes of Rotherham bring anyone into if we played them?
Exactly.
I don't know. But also you got the flip side of it, and Alan knows what he's doing. Beating Forest, what was it, 5-1? All right, we 1-0 down at one point. But it's a tough, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
And it would be nice, but I just don't think it'd fit in the calendar.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. Okay. Let's get a bit in Elgin women.
Elgin women. Wow. So, yeah, everyone knows the story. Kieran Carr, he got hold of me literally the day after I became a director, said, would you look after the women's team? Yeah, this will be easy.
Mm-hmm.
Met a man called Mo Morrison boardroom, had a half-hour chat, both on the same wavelength. And it's been such a smooth ride ever since.
I love how you say that with a smile on your face.
He knows how I think. I've got to say it, and I know Gethin was so. I can't believe how many times he says Mo Morrison, but he is the major reason why the women's team are where they are. The bloke's passionate. He knows what he's doing. He's thorough. You were there when you were the team talk before the Sunderland game and the one after.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to somebody today. I defy anyone to give two better talks because they got to me.
Yeah,
God knows what they had on the players. But yeah, he's pulled in a group of players from nothing, and 18 months later, we're in the 4th round of the Scottish Cup, and not through luck, through playing well. And let's be brutally honest, if that ball hadn't hit the post when we was 2-2 and we'd gone 3-2 up. I know football's ifs and buts, but who knows?
Different game.
Woodson and Johnson have crumbled after going behind for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll never know. But, it's been a roller coaster. It's been tough because obviously, now training facilities have been hard. We train on a Wednesday and a Thursday very late. Not ideal. Yes, we'd love to play at Bower Briggs. I totally understand why.
Mm-hmm.
We can't all the time. But that doesn't mean we can't want to.
Yeah.
The women love it. The support base is growing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, certainly when we play at Bower Briggs, we can easily get 200, 250. I still hark back to the day when we got 254 and the men had got, and this is not Elgin, but Kelty had got 249 against Elgin City. Now, that says a lot.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
Commercially, we are by far one of the biggest clubs off the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen the figures. We went through them last night.
Yeah.
It's just outstanding how not just the local community, we've got obviously got a large Norwegian contingent.
We do, yeah.
Evening yawn and Kato and Barrett. But, we've got a lot of support down in England, sponsors down in England. We're getting interest from all over the world, basically. So Mo's done a great job, but also credit to the team.
Yeah,
there's some very good players in that team. There's some old Rodri.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I had a chat with her today. Going to stay with us next year. Jumped at the chance.
Yeah,
I did say she's got another 10 years, but she then corrected me saying she's 30 this year. So I said 6. But no, you got the likes of Carly, you got Mia Lundberg knocking in the goals, you got Maisie, who is a brilliant keeper, but my God, what a live wire off the pitch.
She's life and soul, that team.
Oh, she is.
She's absolutely.
Oh, and Westy.
Yeah, the two of them are character. I says to Westy, she was down.
Well, you got to put Emma in that as well. She's just nuts.
Doze is nuts as well. She's the loudest to a lot of them. I says to Westy, she was down watching my Bishop Mill game a few weeks ago. She was down with Mel, and the two of them were having a hot chocolate and that, and we were watching the game. And she was going on about training or something like that. I says, I have coached a lot of players. I says, I've been coaching for a good few years now. I've coached hundreds of kids. I says, I've coached hundreds of adults. I've coached a lot of people, and you are by far the biggest moaner that I have ever met in my life. And she was like, I don't know how she know how to take it, but it's true. She is the biggest moaner, but I'll take it because she's a good football player.
Oh yeah, and she's certainly coming. I mean, funny enough, I touched on that with her today as well. I had a conversation with her today, and it was about the club standards on and off the pitch.
Okay,
mainly on it. But no, she's great.
Yeah, she's brilliant.
Yeah, but to be honest, they all are. I spoke with Gracie today, Lindsay.
There's not one bad one in there.
No, and one of the Gracie actually touched on it today. Gracie Mayo, but she knows she's not going to get a lot of game time.
Yeah.
And I said, you want to stay? I want you for another year. You're part of the squad. She says, I want to stay. I'm going to work at the football, but this is the best group of people I've ever been with. We are so tight.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes them special.
It's magic.
They are so tight, on and off the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
You've been there. I've been on up to the Foggies after the game. We've got to thank Foggies as well.
Yeah.
And, it's just madness.
Mm-hmm.
But it's enjoyable madness.
Oh, it's lovely. Yeah.
So yeah, credit to the players. But again, also credit to the board at the time who took the big step of let's start a women's team. Kieran Carty was the driving force behind that.
Yeah,
me and Mo have come in, moved it forward. Now you've come in. Obviously Sarah as well was there. You've come in now. Can't forget the big man, G.
No, can't forget him. It's his
Enjoy
birthday
your night in
today.
Glasgow.
Yeah,
It's his birthday. Happy birthday, G.
Happy birthday, G.
Yeah. I would sing, but you don't want that. But no, he's as good as gold. We spend most weekends together, so we've got to know each other quite well.
He's one of my favourite people ever. Just not just at the club, but just ever, because like you'll have his wee moans and that, but he's one of the most positive people I've ever met in my life. You probably don't get that, but I
really,
yeah.
I'm
But he's always nothing ever seems to be a problem for him. Does that make sense?
No, he'll always find a way around things.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he serves a lot of teams doing what he does.
Mm-hmm.
He does a lot of work, and there's no hiding. A lot of it is voluntary, like us do.
Yeah,
it's voluntary work, but we do it for the club, and we do it because we love it,
and
we get a lot back out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So long may it continue. But yeah, G's great. I hope he enjoys himself tonight.
Yeah, it's
still going to lose though.
I've come from a youth setting. I've worked with adults football before, plenty, always men, and I've never worked with women's football before. I've worked with younger girls and age groups and things. And I mentioned this on the podcast with Mel, with Orla and Lily. I says, these guys are just you're so nice to each other. It's unbelievable.
They're nice. I wish sometimes on the pitch they weren't as nice.
Yeah,
but they're getting there.
Yeah, but everyone's a group. There's no cliques. There's no.
No, and you can see that in the celebrations when they go up the bar afterwards. It's just walking on and off the pitch. I know it sounds daft, but they walk on and off as a group.
Yeah,
there's no splitting off in twos and threes. They'll mix it up. It is fantastic.
And for being the ages of late 30s to 16, that's a huge age range, and they still make it work. Well,
they make it work. I mean, all you've got to do is look at Kayla and Jenna who've walked in. You'd think they've been there for the last 18 months.
Yeah, I'm going to give a shout out to Kayla actually, because
the singing on the bus.
She done an initiation song on the bus last weekend, and she was fucking brilliant, mate.
She did one, didn't she?
Did
somebody bottle it?
Angels, Robbie Williams. I didn't bottle it.
Did you not?
I know. I sung "You'll Never Walk Alone." Thank you very much.
Hey, that means you bottled it, yeah.
Right. Okay, I got you now. No, so she was 16 years old in front of a bus full of adults.
Yeah.
Belting her lungs out.
Yeah.
Enjoying herself. Just being a part of Scottish Cup Day Out and things like that.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
And then you've also got Jenna, who's she wasn't well for the trip, so she obviously wasn't able to do that. But she's come in and she just.
The other one you've got to give a mention to is the really shy one, Orla.
There's two words that don't go together.
Nope.
No. She's a wee.
But again, she's
a wee
mad
pocket rocket.
Yeah.
But she's brilliant.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just like a character. Yeah.
Oh, she's
football,
a one-off.
You need characters in football.
Oh yeah, she's definitely. But she's got the ability to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
She can let her feet do the talking.
Yeah.
And she's just got she's got an engine on her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
we think Kyle Gervin for the men just non-stop.
Yeah.
Especially when he's out on the right. She can match him.
Well, we played against a striker a few weeks ago, didn't we, for Grampian, who'd scored 80 goals a couple of seasons ago. Orla was leaving 10 yards on her and still beating her to the ball and just wasn't even phased in the slightest. And I'm like, you're 17.
For someone so young,
you're 17. I'll give a shout out to Lily as well. She's 17.
Yeah.
Steps up to the spot every time it's needed. Never phased her.
Well, you think, there's not many people would get 3 penalties in a game.
No.
The 3 penalties against Huntley.
Yep.
And pop them all away.
Mm-hmm.
And they were well popped away. They,
Yeah.
They weren't close.
Yeah.
She mixed it up, and that was pressure. I think we were 3-0 down.
I think it was more pressure for her dad than anyone.
Yeah, you go with the penalties.
No, but just like.
But also, you got to remember, Dryber.
Drybra, yeah. Cool.
I still say, I know I put it on the Facebook page, the iconic picture, but at the minute that will go down in history. That her wheeling away with her arm up in the air.
Yep.
That's up right there with Mick Shannon scoring and things like that. It's just iconic.
It is.
But it says so much.
They're young. So much more to come from them as well.
Oh yeah, we had the chat last night, me, you, and Mo, and we've got a plan. It's an ambitious plan.
Yeah.
But like we were saying on the way over here today, we're not going to rush things. We'll take things at a time. Using the chairman's word, and I totally agree, it's got to be sustainable. But if we can prove we can do it on and off the pitch, Elgin can go far. Now, I know every club chairman, director will say that, but I honestly believe we can. And I honestly believe both teams can.
Yep.
The men and the women. Alan Hale, I don't think he'll want to stop at one promotion.
I don't think so.
And then it's down to us as a board and the supporters.
Need to get him a big juicy contract.
No comment.
That's all I'm saying. Get him a big. Alan, if you get a big juicy contract, I'm going to backhander, mate. Just push you in the right direction. But no, as you say, it's it's got to be sustainable, but ambitious at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, for years, even when I first came on the board, we got accused of having no ambition. We did have ambition. There was definitely ambition there. There always has been. It's just the way you got to do it. And things have fallen into place a little bit since Alan came on board.
Yeah.
And, we will move forward and we will keep moving forward. Will we go up this year? We hope so.
Yeah.
But if God forbid we didn't, we go again next year. But we've got a squad that's building. I'm sure Alan's already got his eyes on players for next season. It's positive all round.
Yep.
Men and women.
Yeah, absolutely. Great time to get down to Elgin, get a chance to get down because
absolutely.
Ryan, I'm going to bring you in here. Ryan, you're somebody that didn't really kind of frequent Borough Briggs too often before this season. What's your experience being kind of coming fresh into it? Because obviously it's an exciting season to start kind of properly going to Borough Briggs more often.
Yeah, well, two things more or less. The coaching staff. Now, I know there's obviously everyone at the club puts their own shift in different ways to make everything tick in, but it was actually when you had Steph in here this time last year or something like that.
Yeah.
And I actually said this to Chris Saunderson, actually, I think it was around the Clyde game. There's a certain swagger to Alan and Steph, and I don't mean that in like an arrogant kind of way, but they are the type of people that, like Chris just said about double promotion, they won't want to stop or dare I say, like, settle for any kind of mediocrity ever or anything like that, or standing still. And I mean, just look at their track record of where they've been, whether it's been Maud, whether it's been Huntley. It's always been consistent progression, and they've just basically copied and pasted that with Elgin now.
Yeah.
So I think that, to me, obviously plays a role, and the profile of player that's been brought in is incredibly exciting. Obviously, Kane Hester's just rejoined. Like, when he scored the other night against Bonnyrigg, the first goal, I don't know if there's another player in League 2 that I would see the ball come to feet in that area, and I just instantly thought goal before he even hit it. Yeah. So, yeah, and obviously that's translated to the fans, and the fans are believing, and it's getting to the point where like the expectations are almost they're almost like a victim of their own success whenever there is a defeat now, and you see a comment that's like, oh, the away form's not good enough, and it's like, Elgin have got the second best away form in the league. Do you know what I mean? So but I think that just comes with how well the seasons actually went. Considering where previous seasons have been, right? So yeah.
Have you, as a director, Chris, found fan expectation has changed over the course of the season?
Yeah, definitely. But I've got to say it's been controlled.
Yeah.
There's not many going to sit there and go, right, we're going to win the league. And even at the start of the season, it'd be nice to be challenging.
Yeah.
There were a few even saying it'd be nice not being the bottom three. But I think people are realistic. We have come a long way in a very short time. East Fife have got a hell of a squad.
Yeah, really do.
But we beat them the other day. Like Ryan said, our away form is okay. It's not bad. Second in the league. We'll see what happens in Stranraer on Saturday. But I think if we keep just progressing and the positiveness stays there, the fans have come on board. There's no doubt about it. I won't name names, but last year me and G used to come home in the car and it'd be the same people over and over again being negative. Now they're being quite positive. In fact, in some cases, they're stopping others from being negative.
Yeah.
one defeat. Okay, great. We lost at Stirling. It wasn't the greatest performance ever. We move on to Stranraer. And if we win at Stranraer, it'll all be forgotten.
Yeah.
We'll be the best team in the world again.
Yeah.
But no, the fans have come on board. We can't thank them enough for turning out in numbers that, to get 4-figure crowds was a dream.
Insane.
Now, I'm not saying we're going to expect it, but it would be nice to continue that till the end of the season.
Yeah.
We've got some big games coming as well.
Absolutely.
Who knows what the crowd will be against Peterhead. So, it's going well.
And for anyone that isn't aware, the final game of the season, Chris, is...
What, for the men?
For the men?
East Fife away.
East Fife away.
East Fife away will be an interesting game. You got to think that someone's going to need something from it.
Yep.
At this point in the season, someone will need something, whether it's one of us to win the league, one of us to, you want to finish second in the, if nothing else.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just because you get that better playoff place. But I'll be surprised if it's a dead rubber.
Yeah, it's never going to be.
No.
Never going to be. And there's going to be fireworks on and off the pitch as well.
Well, yeah, because it's not the biggest ground, is it?
No.
Is it 1,900, I think the stand holds.
Is it?
So I don't know how many tickets they give us.
Bayview, isn't it?
Bayview, yeah. It's a nice bunch of people down there. And obviously they've got the one and only.
Yes.
Dick Campbell.
No, there's two of them.
Well, there's Ian as well, but he's not quite as argumentative. But no, Dick's a character. I had the sponsors come up from a company down in Preston for the game. And we went out in Elgin on the Friday night when we were having a chat in Thundersons. And I said, you get to see Dick Campbell tomorrow. I said, no word of a lie, he's most probably the biggest character now in Scottish football.
Yeah. And
if something doesn't happen, I'll be surprised. Anyway, we're out in the tunnel having a chat before the game. He comes and talks to the boys. Nice. Now, what I didn't realise was Ian Dunn's a Preston fan, and he bought David Moyes. Hamilton sold, David Moyes to Preston when Dick was there. We knew David Moyes, so having a chat about that. And then, of course, what happened on the pitch happened.
Yeah.
Then after the game, Dick comes in the boardroom. You wouldn't have thought anything had happened. He was as nice as pie. Well, that's Dick Campbell.
Yeah, that's
he's Marmite. You either love him or you hate him. I haven't got a problem with him. There are some other characters, but you'd be hard pressed to beat him.
Aye,
absolutely. My favourite part was in his post-match interview on East Fife TV. He didn't know who they were playing next.
Bless him.
Okay, interesting football journalist question here. Who's the best player you've seen at Elgin? For male and female.
Right. So, again, this was a tough one. But over the seasons, you can't beat Soapy.
No.
The guys. I've spoken to him a few times off the pitch. He's a pleasant guy, nice guy. On the pitch, he just gets on with it.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said earlier, he can play in most positions. In fact, apart from goalie, is there a position he hasn't played?
Well, when he
I've seen him go up front midway through a game.
When he first started out as a young lad, he was like a left-sided midfielder, and he would play the occasional game up front, and he would occasionally play in a 10. Then when Gunny was in the team, he was playing centre midfield. Shane came into the team, and him and Shane had this unbelievable partnership where Soapy was playing like the 10, and Shane would play the 9 in front of him, and you had pretty much JP sitting and holding for them. You guys like, I'm trying to think, I think Archie McPhee and that would have been involved at the time and things, who were just putting balls down wide into Soapy, into Shane, and I think the two of them had about 30 goals between them for that season.
He's just a phenomenal, but he's still, I don't know what the figures are, but
he's over
still
500.
one of the fitness levels are, he can do a box to box without a problem.
Yep.
And obviously fitting him with centre back this year, he's you think he'd played there all his life?
Yeah, there was one game, 2-0 we won. Who did we win 2-0 against? Peterhead.
Him and Russell Dingwall in the back line.
Sorry, that's what it was. I'm sorry to Jake, I'm sorry to Jack, right? But I had not seen us look so comfortable at the back all season when we beat Peterhead 2-0. Yeah. We were just passing it. But it was because it was natural centre midfielders that are playing in there, and they can spray the ball about and things.
But even positionally. He's, you'd think he's been there all his career. He's a bright footballer.
Oh, very, yeah.
He understands football most probably better than most.
Mm-hmm. And as you say, and I'll keep saying it, and it's probably part of Football Journal's bingo of where we're going to play it. He's one of the nicest guys ever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's just a lovely guy.
He'll come up and talk to you after the game if you stood by the bus or taking stuff out, and he'll have a quick chat with you. He'll also be brutally honest.
Yeah.
I remember when it was a midweek game down at Bonnyrigg, and we got absolutely hammered. And he was first out. He just came up to me and said, "Oh, that was shit.
Aye.
What the fuck did we do?"
Mm-hmm.
But he was honest enough to admit, they were shit that day.
Mm-hmm.
So, the women's team, this is a tough one.
It's a hard one. You can give me a couple.
I'm gonna.
Okay.
What did I put down? Oh yeah, I remember now. So, you won't have seen her play for us, but when we first started the trials, we had Kaz. And I apologise that I can't remember her second name. And every other thing she did seemed to be a Cruyff turn. But she could ping a ball. Now, unfortunately, we didn't keep her. She went off to Bonnyrigg. That was a bit of a blow.
Okay.
Then we had Charlie Arrowsmith later to be Worthing. And she was just, tried.
Yep.
Love her back. Charlie, you're going away, aren't you? Love you. But she was very cultured. But I would say this year, and this is no disrespect to all the other players in the team, you have to look at Lindsay, and you have to look at the Norwegian superstar who's knocking goals in for fun now.
Yep.
Had a quietish start, knocked a few goals in. Now,
can't stop her.
She is terrorising defences, and the whole of Scottish football knows she exists. Mm-hmm. We know.
Yeah.
So, I would say that. Watch this space.
She's, I remember interviewing Mo back in the summer. I think that would have been
end of July, something like that.
Yeah, just before the season kind of started and that. And I says, "How's the season going?" He says, "Oh, we've just got a new player in from Norway." I think I asked him, and he says, "Yeah, decent enough player." And yeah, I'd like to play him that back now and be like, "Decent enough player," eh? But he'd probably be like, "Yeah, decent."
Well, to be honest, I think she was quite reserved when she first came. We were talking on the way over tonight. Mm-hmm. She's got the physicality now. She's, like you say, when she came back after Christmas, she's almost come back a different woman, and
different
she's
animal
physical.
Altogether.
I wouldn't want to play against her.
No.
Put her up against Soapy. Let's see how that goes.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? She's physical, but she's now scoring.
Yeah.
And, we were laughing a joke when she first came in. She was hitting the post more times she was putting in the net. And it was true. But now she's got it. And obviously Lindsay is just different class.
Mm-hmm.
We want to keep her. We're hopefully going to keep her.
She
could play 2-3 leagues higher.
She could play top flight in Scotland quite easily. Technical ability is just second to none.
And again, another nice woman.
Oh, lovely. Yeah,
just great.
Yeah,
loves to drink. She'll hate me for saying that.
Yeah.
But
well, I remember after St John's the game, obviously went to the pub and all that, and I'm trying to go home, and she's like, "What time are you up in the morning?" And I'm like, "Quite early." And she's like, "I'm up earlier than you." I'm like, "No, you're not." And I'm like, she's like made it a competition. I'm like, "This is not a competition. I'm going home to my bed." But she's got. Now and again, you can have quality players in your team, but when I say she's got that touch of quality, that's
she's got vision as well, hasn't she?
Yeah, and it's just sometimes a player that'll take the game by scruff of the neck and go and do something to make the game happen, Well,
to be honest, Dozer almost did that the other day, didn't she?
Shout out Dozer, she's brilliant. Right. Alternative question: best against.
So this was a tough one. Now, I'm not going to say he's the best footballer, but he's certainly been the most annoying in my time at Elgin, and that's Nathan Austin. Now, luckily, he's relaxed in the last couple of years, but he always used to score against us.
Yeah.
And it wasn't 1 or 2, sometimes it was 3.
Yeah.
So I would say him as an opposition player for the men. For the women, there's 2. Now, we've only played against one of them once, and that's Rhea Hossack at Ross County.
Yeah.
She's different class.
Yeah, we're playing against her this weekend.
We're playing against her this weekend. Credit where's credit's due. She knows where the net is.
Mm.
So there's her, and there's I couldn't remember her name. Faith Mann, the goalie at Grampian.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Now, obviously, we've played against Dice a few times.
Mm-hmm.
She's been an absolute nightmare for us. And she is a very, very good keeper,
Yeah.
She could go a lot further.
Aye.
There's no doubt about it. Then again, so could our Maisie.
Oh, absolutely.
But those two are standout. There's been a few individual performances, but those, even though I said I've only seen once, I think we played against her at Cali once as well. But Faith, such an agile keeper.
Yeah,
definitely. So those three.
Yeah, brilliant. It's been your best moment in football so far. This can be Elgin, can be Man City, it can be anything.
That he wanted.
Go on then.
Aguero. No disrespect.
Is that better than the Champions League win for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Now again, going back to the proper football thing. So I was there.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Okay.
Along with the 2 million others that were actually that day. And it was doom and gloom. Then Jacko knocks one in. You're thinking, okay, great. Then when that third one goes in, Balotelli passes to him. Balotelli don't pass.
No,
there's
selfish.
no way. 99.9% of the time that ball was going to be passed.
Yeah,
but he did it that day, and Aguero pops it in, and we just erupted.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there'll ever be a feeling like it in football for me. And this is going to sound harsh. I saw us win the league. That'll do me.
Yeah,
I'm out.
Yeah,
I did go the following year when we beat West Ham and won the league. I've not seen a winning game, if you know what I mean. I've not been to see us lift a trophy since.
Right. So off of that question, do you think that your biggest moment could potentially yet to come this year?
Ooh.
Do you think that could be topped by a winner's medal from either of these two Elgin teams?
Oh. Tough question, that, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I think for pure drama, no.
Yeah.
You'd have to go some to beat it.
Absolutely.
For emotion, yes.
Yeah.
So there's no doubt, if Alan can either get us up or get into the playoffs and we go up, that's going to be out of this world. There's going to be a party that night.
Oh, definitely.
And I do like a party. That's what we're going to find out. For the women, we've got the League Cup semi-final.
At Barra Briggs.
At Barra Briggs. Thanks, Cecil.
Yep.
Relented on that one. I don't know why. If it's a big if we can win that, and if we get home tie, obviously, because we don't even know what the draw is yet. Well, I was promised it will be this week. We get through to the final, who knows?
Yeah.
And I have spoke to the SWFL today, and they may move it half an hour.
Half hour. Lovely. So anyone that's unaware that if Elgin were to get to the final of the League Cup, it's going to be a 12:30 kickoff in Alloa, which is about a 4-hour drive from Elgin.
We're not happy. We understand why.
Yeah.
But, and again, I'm not harping down the same tree, but there is a definite bias for Central Belt teams.
I agree.
You can't hide the fact.
No.
All we've asked, if you can we're not asking for the venue to be changed.
No.
Just that I don't want to get up at stupid o'clock in the morning.
Well, this is it. And people may be listening and thinking, oh, you maybe have to leave at 8:30. No. Generally, to get a football team ready, you have to have them at the ground about an hour and a half before a game. Yeah. Ideally, you're wanting them there 2 hours before the game, so they can go and have a little bit of walkabout, stretch their legs, and then you start prepping. So that would mean us leaving Elgin about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. Then being expected to play a final, if we do make it that far, of course, and be at our best performance. Whereas every other team is within about an hour's radius.
Well, the Air team's 2 hours closer.
2 hours.
Which is a massive difference. And then you've got the other two teams, which are most probably, at most, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So they could most probably leave at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, exactly.
So, we're not asking for the venue to be changed.
No.
Would be nice if they did it up here now and again. Never have.
No.
But if they can push the kickoff back,
and
if there's something in the way, if there's something happening after it, maybe pick a ground where you've got freedom all day.
Yeah.
Why not fix it so you can get to a ground with a 3 o'clock kickoff?
Mm-hmm.
We don't mind getting home at 10, 11 o'clock at night. That's not a problem.
Yeah. And you asked a great question last night, actually, and it was, for example, let's just say Elgin City got to the final and they played Ross County, would they expect both teams to travel down to Alloa?
And that's the thing, you know, especially for that kickoff. You've got two teams going down, they'll both be tired. You know, some players will be on a buzz, but you know that half your team's going to be not feeling quite right.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get a fair result.
No, definitely not. Chris, what's your proudest achievement in football? What are you proudest of?
I would have to say going on the board.
Yeah.
It was a massive, honour. It definitely is an honour.
Mm.
You know, we're custodians of the club. I don't know how long I'm going to be there. You know, that's undecided. It might be next year. It might be the year after. It might be 50 years' time like Cecil. Actually, you're
going to be cutting the grass next year.
I'll be 107 then. I'm not sure that's happening. But you know what I mean? But no, it's a massive honour. And, you know, I've loved most of it. It's hard work. You know, even today it was, you know, a few phone calls here and a few phone calls there, and you're getting up early trying to do your normal job and things like that. So, but no, that I would say at the minute, personally, is the greatest achievement.
Yeah.
Club-wise, there's no doubt getting to the fourth round of the Scottish Cup for the women was a major one.
It's huge.
And if we go up as a men's team, even if we don't go up this year, I still think what Alan and Stefan has achieved has been fantastic.
I agree. Yeah.
And, you know, people will say, oh, well, that's a bit defeatist. No, it's being honest.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, just because if we didn't go up, would it be doom and gloom? No.
I don't think
We'll
so.
go again.
Yeah. Just look at where we were 18 months ago.
Yeah, and that's it. And they're playing good football.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's good football. We're starting to score goals again. There's a real buzz around the place.
Yeah.
You know, don't get me wrong. We'd love to fill out hospitality. And if anybody wants information on hospitality, please get in touch with the club. It is a great day out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've done it with the women's team as well. That worked quite well. So, no, for me personally, becoming a director and then St Johnson and getting Alan Hale and Stefan getting promoted.
Brilliant. If you enjoyed listening to us, you want to watch us, you can subscribe on Spotify. Spotify? What am I speaking about? You can subscribe.
Trying to give this away for free again.
I know. You can subscribe on Patreon for £5 a month. You get video exclusive episodes. You get your episodes early. I've actually started putting more pictures and things like that on Patreon. So last episode we had Chico in. Chico gave me a scrapbook. I took a lot of pictures from there and put them up on the Patreon and things. So you do get more for your £5 a month. Plus
extra episode a month as well.
Extra bonus episode a month. And we've got quite a famous person coming in soon. And we're going to do something Patreon exclusive for the patrons. They're going to have the chance to win something. So I'll have more information on that on the next episode. But yeah, thank you for your £5 a month. If anyone wants a shout out as well, just let me know on there and I can give you a shout out. You can send in your voice notes. Ryan can play them as a recording. The next one is Spotify, 47 ratings out of 212 followers.
Wow.
So I would like some more ratings, 5-star ratings. I'm an independent podcast, so it helps people find me who don't know about the podcast if you leave a rating on Spotify. Literally just go up, click the 3 little dots, rate show, 5 stars. Don't leave me the 1 star like that one person has, and I'm forever 4.9 now. Forever 4.9. But
who'd you upset?
I don't know. I've quite a few people over my lifetime, I can assure you. Follows on YouTube, follows on Facebook. We're over 1,000 on Facebook, 2,500 on TikTok. I am now going to play you. No, I'm not joking. Chris is in the studio. I was about to say, I'm now going to play you an advert.
I was about to say that would be so pointless for this episode alone.
Yeah.
I'm here.
So, Chris, we're going to go into your 1 to 11. So, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. I forgot to write down one name, but it's all right. It's in my head. I've just counted it as 10 there. Tam McHale, Coops, Murray, Dolzanski, Booth, JP McGovern, Tom Riley, Russell Dingwall, Soapy, Gallagher and Hester.
Yeah. Quite a modern 11.
That team together, do you know what? It's like that would work.
Oh, yeah.
That would work.
It might be a bit heavy going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Might be a bit heavy going forward. But to be honest, you could, it was a toss-up because you've got players left out like Kyle. It was tough. Heidi's played really well this year. So, yeah, for my short time at Elgin City, JP McGowan always stood out for me because he was just
different class.
Just stood in the middle. Well, he didn't just stand in the middle, but he could spray a ball around.
Yeah.
And Riley always stood out. I think it was the first season.
Tam was a brilliant player.
Yeah.
Brilliant player. I remember him at St Mirren. Yeah, he came from St Mirren to Elgin, I'm pretty sure.
But as I said to you earlier, I've seen thousands of matches. He should have gone a lot further than he did. Now, I don't know why he didn't, whether it was just attitude or that was his max, but I just felt he could go so much further.
Yeah, yeah. He fitted in very well with Soapy and things like that in that middle at the time. If somebody, we'll just pick a couple of names because anyone listening will have seen these names. They're good players. But I'm going to give him a wee mention because I'm desperate to see him back in an Elgin top. It's Coops.
Coops, yeah. So Coops epitomises for me Elgin City. Mm-hmm. The guy, he's been out injured on and off, must be 3-4 years now. He's always smiling. He's still at every game. He still comes to every game. He still wants to be part of it. He's such a lovely guy. You can talk to him about anything.
Yeah.
But he is Elgin City through and through. Him and Soaps, let's be brutally honest.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he was always going to make the team.
Absolutely. Big Jack.
Jack, wow.
He's unbelievable, isn't he?
The Mad Mountain.
How the hell did we get him? Because...
Well, more importantly, why didn't we get him earlier?
Yeah.
But no, Alan's obviously brought him in and he just slotted in. The only bad game he had, and he'll hate me for reminding me, was the game against Bucky. I think he just didn't enjoy that game. But every other game he's played before he got injured, we get corners now.
Yeah.
And we think we're going to score.
It's a
we had a corner last year or the years before. We were wishing we would score.
It's a constant threat.
Well, we had Marcus Goodall in here just as he kind of signed, didn't he? And he was talking to us about he got 26 goals from centre back playing for Bucky in the Highland League, and the thing was that he should have had 15 more. And then I remember in December when it was actually the Stirling Albion game, the day of, Alan and Steph were in here, and Jack was suspended. I think he got booked or something the last away game. And Stefan just went, it's one of the funniest moments I've had in here. He's like, he'll probably still get man of the match today.
Well, to be honest, if a team was voting, he definitely would have got man of the match. There's a bromance there, I'll tell you.
So the two in the middle, obviously Coops isn't on the pitch much, but the other two that epitomise Elgin that are on the pitch quite a lot, Dingwall and Soapy, Rusty and Soapy.
So we've touched on Soapy, Rusty, the man with the smallest feet in football. But he just doesn't stop running. So
what is it we keep hearing about Rusty's boot fines? What is Rusty's boot fines all about?
I don't know.
Yeah, I hear this all the time.
Really?
Like, yeah.
I'll have to ask G.
Rusty's boot
he
fines.
He just has really small feet. Mm-hmm. But the man is just
doesn't do anything. Wrong,
I'm Ginger. He's the Duracell bunny, isn't he? Really? He just doesn't stop. And I don't know for a fact, but I'd be surprised if he didn't have the highest running averages in the team.
Yeah.
But he's got the skill to go with it as well.
Yes.
He's got the drive. We were on about the women's team being a bit quiet. You got Rusty there. He's always vocal.
Mm-hmm.
Very positive. So, and again, a nice guy.
Yeah.
Bit of a joker.
But you need that.
Loves his biscuits.
Is that his or G's biscuits?
Oh, yeah.
Mark Gallagher.
Yeah, again, pretty quiet off the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Not really got to know Mark that well, but on his day, he can ping a ball. And he can drive as well.
Yeah, I was just about to say, that's the thing I notice about every single time is when he picks the ball up in the centre circle, it gets transitioned into the opponent's, final third. And he is one of the rare players that can do that, I think. He's just been a standout every time I've been to watch a game.
Well, for such a tall guy as well, I always hark back to Sean White Phillips. He could take players on, but he's got a low centre of gravity.
Yeah.
But Gal's a lot taller, but he still seems to be able to.
Yeah.
dummy players, get him out of the way. You know, he's got strength as well.
Would he be your comparison to Lindsay in the women's team?
Oof, that's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, they're both on the par that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
think Lindsay can tackle a bit harder.
Head a bit better. Okay, and then we'll finish off in the main man, 2 goals on Tuesday night.
So Kane coming back, you know, it was a little bit of a shock. We'd heard rumours. But when the deal came off, you know, the chairman rang me and said, look, we're going to do this. I thought, wow, Hester. Is that the icing on the cake? Is that the final piece in the jigsaw where we can start popping in goals left, right and centre? But he's come back in, you know, I've seen him in the dressing room. It's like he was never away.
Yeah.
You know, again, such a lovely guy, but he just wants to score goals.
Just hungry.
And I think once him and Gal get going, got to help the rest of the league.
Oh, definitely. I seen a video of one Gallagher scored in training a few weeks ago, and it was just filthy. But supposedly he does that all the time. You know?
Yeah, and he has got it. Again, is he another Tam O'Reilly where you got it, just get the potential out of him? And I think Alan and Stefan definitely will.
Oh, absolutely. Been a pleasure, Chris.
And you, mate. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. I'm going to give people a wee sneak just now. I'm not one for telling you who's coming on my next episodes and things like that, because that's Patreon exclusive. But this is part 1.
Oh, yeah.
This is part 1. So, Chris, if anyone else wants to sponsor me, you'll get the pleasure of doing this as well.
You can take over Lee's podcast for one episode.
Yeah. But Chris is going to be sitting in my seat in a few episodes' time, and I'm going to be sitting in the seat Chris is in just now. And I am going to be the guest for the Football Journal's
You're going to be the willing victim.
Yeah. Oh, God, again.
Can we please call that episode the Chris Football Journals?
I knew you were here for some reason, mate. I knew it.
It's taking an hour, but you got
it. Don't need him for the techie stuff, just need him for the puns. No, I do really need you for the techie stuff. I'm joking. So we've got that to look forward to. I will give people a little sneak peek. We've got Ronnie Dunbar coming on next. Ronnie, bit of a legend for the 60s. 60s. Legend in his 60s. He'll hate me for that. I'm sorry, Ronnie. I didn't mean that. If you were in the team in the 70s and things like that, Ronnie. Chris, we always finish on the same question all the time. I'm interested because I want to say one, and then there's another one sticking in my head. If there's a penalty to save your life, who takes it?
Right, there's only one.
Lily Morrison.
No.
Oh, no.
No, sorry, not Lily. It'd be her dad, Mo.
Okay.
And only because I've promised him a kismet afterwards. He's not going to miss, is he?
Depends how much you're pissing off that day. He's skying it.
Oh, no. He'll do anything for a kismet, trust me. But no, if my life depended on it, not only have, we have to work together. He called me the boss the other day for the first time. I am. And it is hard to separate sometimes. But he's also now one of my best friends. And I would, I'd go in the trenches with him. You trust that guy.
100%.
And, he's got this bad rap, but you won't meet a nicer guy.
No.
Yeah, it can be a bit bullshit at times.
He's fucking funny. Yeah. He's funny as fuck.
Oh, when he gets going, he gets going.
He's very quick. And I'm still getting used to it. And, if he said something a couple of months ago and he was quick about it, and I had no answer, so I pretended to be busy doing something else. I was at training, I just had no answer for him. But as you say, I'd be quite willing to put my life in his hands, go into trenches with him, because that he's putting in 10 times more effort than you are.
What you see is what you get. There's no half measures. Yeah, it's black or white. But he's a lovely guy. He'll hate me for saying this, because I'll get a text when this goes out saying you cock.
He'll get it earlier because he's a Patreon.
Okay.
Can I just give people a wee story about Mo? Because this makes me giggle, and he'll get a wee laugh at this. he signed up to my Patreon a few months ago because he's a good guy, supports us and all that, and he's been on the podcast. And he messaged me, I think it was when Connor Gethin's episode went up, and he was like,
not Moby.
It was one of them. I can't remember.
Yeah, he asked, "Why has it not been filmed?" or something like that. Is that what you're about to talk about?
No, so that was part of it. So that's why it not been filmed. I says, yeah, it's on Patreon. You're on the Patreon. If you go in there, you'll get it. And then there was an episode I'm pretty sure it was Gethin's one a couple of weeks ago, and he was like, or Chico's one it was. Sorry, it was Chico's, and he was like, I don't know what I've done, but I've just signed up again. So I've just got another $5 here for no reason. Absolutely no reason.
And of course you didn't refund him.
No, I can't. I was like, how have you managed to do that? You fully signed up again. Just go on the website and it'll sign you in.
Kept that quiet, didn't he?
I was like, I've signed you up. I've signed up again. I don't know how I've done it. I was pissing myself laughing in the house. Like, what a guy, man.
You're
honestly. I'm learning so much from him. That's all I can say.
He's a brilliant coach. I mean, you know yourself. You know, even talking to the players today because we re-signed them all for next year. They love playing for him. Mm-hmm. You know, they've got respect for him. You know, they all say they learn from him.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got a way about him. There's no messing about. But he's got respect, and they love him.
Yeah, absolutely. There's something that some of the players have been giving me almost credit for the last couple of weeks, and I'm going to hold my hands up and say that it's got nothing to do with me. We went for a run, 4 clean sheets running, and they were all saying, but you've been taking training this month and things like that because Mo hasn't been available. And I'm like, yous are only doing that training because of the work he's put in the last 18 months.
Oh, you played a part. Don't knock yourself too much.
But what I'm trying to say is, like, I'm coming in and I'm maybe putting on a session, but Mo's now able to go and take a group of players away and go and work on something specific now. And that's the difference. He doesn't have this pressure of having to deal with the whole session. He can go and work on specific things.
We've been hunting for an assistant for months.
Yeah.
And since you've come in, you can see that he's able to, like you said, do those little things that he couldn't do before. And it's made a massive difference.
Yeah.
You know, positionally, the players are a lot more aware.
Absolutely.
Tactically, definitely a lot more aware.
They know what they're doing more. So yeah, I will take that much, but I've got to give him that, and I've got to give Sarah a bit as well, because Sarah's brilliant. She'll come in.
Well, she's been there from the start. I mean, she actually started as a player.
Yeah. and not a lot of people know this, but Sarah used to play for Man City as a lady.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Back when women's football wasn't as big as it is now.
But yeah, credit to her. She was at City. Stockport lass.
Right. We'll continue this in a few weeks, a few episodes time.
I'll look forward to it.
Brilliant. Good man, Chris.
Be prepared.
The Football Journals is now on Patreon. If you sign up on Patreon for just £5 a month, you can get access to our upcoming guests and the chance to ask your own questions, the ability to watch our podcast with full video exclusive, audio only on all other platforms. You can get your episodes earlier than anyone else, sometimes a few days, sometimes a week, but you will get your episodes earlier than everyone else. Chance to request guests of your choice. We will do them our utmost to get them on the show, if obviously within reason. I can't go asking Cristiano Ronaldo on the show. And 1 bonus episode per month. There's already a bonus episode on there. You'll get a further bonus episode every month. Sign up today at patreon.com/footballjournals, capital F, capital J. That's sign up today at patreon.com/footballjournals, capital F, capital J.